Hi guys, so today I figured I would do a reading update because I have apparently read a lot of books since the last update I did. I think I've read like 13 since my last update. Just been really busy. My brother's been in town, so yeah. So the first book that I read was called Fighting for What's His by Laura Kaye. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't my favorite. It was the second book to Fighting for Everything. I think there's 4 of them. I liked this one. I have a review for it on my last update, but I read the second one, and yeah, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't my favorite. It was about his friend Billy that met a girl, and yeah, I don't fully remember the book because it wasn't very grasping to me, so yeah, it's also been like quite a while since I read the book. I think I'm going on like a month, and if I don't like absolutely love the book, I don't fully remember it. But then I read Timid by Devney Perry, which is the second to Tattered. I really enjoyed Tattered. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. So I was really excited for the second one. There's also another one coming out, I think in November. And then there's one more after that. I'm planning on getting them, but I don't know if I'm going to get them in hardback because the second book, again, was 3 out of 5 stars for me. It wasn't my favorite. I found it to be very choppy and repetitive. And this one, it also didn't make sense to me why Devney wrote it the way she did. Like, it was going in between the story from the first book, but it didn't make any sense because of how she ended the first book. We should have known already. I understand what she was trying to do in keeping it a secret, but it didn't make sense to me. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to read the third one. I probably will give it a try, but I don't know. I actually just realized that I have these postcards next to me, so these are the next books coming out. Tragic is November 27th, and Tinsel is February 19th. So, yeah. And then the next book I read, I got as an ARC. It's called The Wedding Obsession by Madeline. I absolutely hated that book. I gave it 1 out of 5 stars. It was like one of the worst books that I have read in 2018. And yeah, it was really boring, and there was no connection between the female lead and the male lead. There's nothing. It was about this chick that was going through something and needed surgery. I don't fully remember what, heart transplant. She needed that, and she didn't have a romantic relationship with anybody, so she proposed to her best friend after she woke up from surgery because the heart that she was given, the girl was supposed to be getting married the day before that she died. So it was a cute concept, but there was no chemistry. Like, I'm glad that I didn't pay for it, honestly. Yeah, I wouldn't have been happy if I had to pay for it. I would have returned that book for sure. So the next book that I read is called Between the Lines by Renee, harless. This book I gave 4 out of 5 stars, and it would have got 5 stars, but I found edits in my book. Not like normal edits, like a missing word or something. No, like, let's see if I can find it. it was really weird, and I'd never seen something like that, but it didn't do well with me. But in any case, this book I gave 4 out of 5 stars, and it would have been 5 stars if the edits hadn't have been in here, which I guarantee you I won't be able to find anymore. But it's about this guy, whoa, what happened? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So, where did it go? I lost it. Okay, you see, I don't know if you can see that, but moved. No, you can't see it. There's a line through ED. It's really strange. I'd never seen that before, and it just made me feel like the publisher was rushing it to be finished, and I didn't like it. I ended up finishing the story wishing that there was more. It honestly, at the end, it left us wondering if they were going to be together or not. And yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so this was the story about this guy who was in the military, I do believe it was. No. So his sister and him live across the street from each other, and they had this friend growing up. I don't remember her name. Quinn, that's it. And she turned into a big actress, and she got a month off for, like, between filming, so she came back to her hometown to see her best friend, which is his sister, and they ended up finding out that they had both had feelings for each other when they were younger, and so they made a pact to, like, just make it about sex, so the entire time she was there they could have sex without any feelings being attached. And then in the end, they end up not being able to keep it like that, and yeah. Ultimately, it didn't end up with us knowing if they were staying together or not, but I think there's a second one coming out. I really liked this book, though, so I will definitely get the second one if there is one. And then I read the selection series. I really enjoyed the first 3. I think that it should have just stayed as a trilogy. I don't think that Kiera Class should have made it into a 5-book trilogy. I think she could have kept it as the 5-book series, sorry. I think she could have kept it as the series and then added the little book of short stories to just, like, tie it all in together. I did not absolutely like the last 2 books. But if you don't know, the selection is a YA, I would just call it like a romance YA. It is about this world that has, like, caste systems, and the royals rule everything. It's set in the future. America's gone, like, everything is gone, and yeah, now there's these royals, and the royals have to, the way they have it set up is that the king and queen have a baby, and then when that kid reaches 18, they send out these applications to everyone in their country to fill out if they're between the ages of 16 and 22, I believe, to win the prince's hand in marriage. So there's a bunch of girls that enter it. Only 35 are accepted in, and then the prince ends up having to narrow it down to 1 girl. So I really enjoyed them. I had found these in a store, and I had always looked at them, but I had never picked them up. And then I found them at a secondhand store for like $7.50 each, and I was like, I can deal with getting those now, so I got them, and I really enjoyed it. But I gave the selection 5 stars. I gave the Elite 4 stars. I gave the one 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. This is that short story collection. So the way Goodreads had it set up was that you had to rate each story. So if I had to rate them all together, I would say probably 4 out of 5. I gave The Heir 3 stars and The Crown 4 stars. These are the ones about their daughter, and she was a brat, and I couldn't get into her character, so I didn't like it. So then this one, International Guy Volume 3, which is 7, 8, and 9 by Audrey Carlan, is actually not supposed to be out until November 13th, and Chapters made an oops and sent it to me early. So I had already read London as an arc, and then I was waiting to get approved for the other 2 as an arc, and then this showed up in my mail. So I just finished reading Washington tonight. I gave both of them 4 stars because I had already read London, so I didn't read it again. But I gave Berlin and Washington 4 stars each. If you guys don't know, Audrey Carlan is one of my absolute favorite authors for romance. I own every single one of her books, except I'm missing 2 for the Lotus House series, but I've read them all, and I absolutely love her. So this came in the mail, and I was like, oh my god, I have to read it. Like, it's next. I got my romance book box, and then I got this like the day later, and I'm like, nope, romance reveal book box is getting moved. I have to finish these. They're really good. If you haven't read them yet, I would pick it up. It's about these 3 guys that own this business called International Guy. They all specialize in something else. So Parker is the money maker, or he's the dream maker. I think Roe is the money maker, and I think Bo is the love maker. But Audrey did an amazing job in setting this story up. So these guys go to a different place every month to help out their client do whatever they need. So the first month, they were in Paris, and they were helping this one girl that her father died, and she ended up being forced to take over his business. She didn't know what she was doing, so they all went in and they helped her. And then there's also a love interest with Parker that starts in book 2. It's wonderful. I would definitely recommend this book, and I would definitely recommend that you check out the other ones. Like, I cannot wait for the next 3 books that end this series. It is going to be amazing. So in the last book that I've read over this last month or however long it's been, I just finished like 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, I guess. It's called We Were Memories by Brandi. This is one of the books I just recently got in my Romance Real book box. It took me a while to pick it up. It didn't really interest me, but then I saw on Facebook that it was going around and everyone was loving it. So like, okay, well, I bought it, I have it, so I'll try it. So I just finished it. It literally took me like 3 hours to read this book. It's very small. I gave it 3 stars. I couldn't get over the fact that the love interest between this girl, what's her name? I just read it. I can't remember her name. Leela. That's why, because she has a weird name. So her and her husband, Ryan, they're having issues because he works all the time. He's home for like a day, maybe a week, and then he's gone again for a week or longer. And so she's not happy. He won't do anything about it. He says his job's too important. She tries to talk to him about it, and he's like, no, I don't have time for this. I have to go to sleep, or I'm going to catch a plane again. Like, so, yeah. So then, of course, she ends up finding this other guy that she wasn't even looking for. And the part that got me about this book is that it's about cheating, essentially. She cheats on her husband because she's not happy anymore. And then she breaks up with her husband. They get a divorce. She gets pregnant with the other guy. And then she gets back to her husband. That's not realistic. No one's gonna do that. If my fiance cheated on me and then he wanted me back, I'd be like, you're working for it. And then I don't even think I would go with it. So, no. But, yeah. Tomorrow I'll start another book. And, yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. Thanks, guys. Bye.